February 25, 1942. It's just after midnight in Los Angeles. The city is under a wartime blackout. No street lamps, no neon signs, even headlights are dimmed. The Pacific coast is tense, every citizen on edge. Only 10 weeks earlier, Japan attacked Pearl Harbor. The U.S. is officially at war, and West Coast residents believe the enemy could strike at any moment. And then, it happens. Sirens scream across the city. Searchlights slice through the night sky. Anti-aircraft guns open fire. But here's the twist. They're not shooting at Japanese bombers. They're firing at something else. Something the U.S. military will never fully explain. Tonight, we dive deep into the Battle of Los Angeles, a mysterious moment in history where hundreds of witnesses, both military and civilian, saw something in the skies, and to this day, no one knows exactly what it was. World War II fever and paranoia. Before we jump into the night itself, you have to understand the atmosphere of 1942 America. The Pacific War panic. After Pearl Harbor, military analysts expected Japan to try another strike, and California was the obvious target. Rumors were flying. Japanese submarines were spotted off the coast. Some claimed they even shelled oil fields near Santa Barbara just days before the incident, and that one actually happened, the Elwood shelling on February 23, 1942. Civil defense. Los Angeles was on total alert. The Army had installed anti-aircraft batteries around the city. There were blackout drills where entire neighborhoods had to go dark within seconds. Imagine that, an entire modern city plunged into complete blackness, all because of fear of an air raid. Hysteria. Newspapers were full of speculation about enemy spies, sabotage, and mysterious aircraft. Some even believed Japan might send balloons carrying bombs. So the city was primed for panic. Section 2. The night begins. Shortly after 2 a.m. on February 25th, radar operators detected an unidentified object approaching the Southern California coast. At 2:25 a.m., sirens began to wail. The blackout order was immediate. Witnesses reported seeing a silvery object moving slowly over Los Angeles. Then, more appeared. Or maybe it was just one massive object? Reports conflicted. Some said they saw dozens of aircraft. Others said it was one enormous craft moving at a crawl. The Army opened fire. For the next hour, more than 1,400 anti-aircraft shells lit up the sky. Searchlights converged on strange shapes. Civilian witnesses described glowing orbs, disc-shaped craft, or even massive flying fortresses. Section 3. Chaos on the ground. Imagine living in LA that night. You hear the booming of anti-aircraft fire. You see tracer rounds streaking through the air. Windows rattle, dogs bark, children cry. Some people thought the Japanese invasion had begun. Others thought the war had already reached their doorstep. And a few, even in 1942, whispered about flying saucers. In the aftermath, chaos ruled. The gunfire caused damage to homes and buildings, and 5 people died that night, 3 in car accidents during the blackout, and 2 from heart attacks brought on by the stress. Section 4. The official story and the cover-up. The next day, the Navy and War Department gave conflicting explanations. First claim, it was just a false alarm, possibly caused by war nerves and overactive imaginations. Second claim, there may have been an actual aircraft, perhaps a Japanese reconnaissance plane, but nothing was shot down. Later revision, it might have been weather balloons. Weather balloons. In the middle of a wartime blackout. Over a city in full military defense mode. Naturally, not everyone bought that explanation. Many witnesses were adamant. They saw something solid, something huge, and something that withstood an hour of heavy anti-aircraft fire without a single scratch. Section 5. UFO Connection. Here's where it gets interesting. Remember, this was 5 years before the term flying saucer even entered popular vocabulary. The famous Kenneth Arnold sighting and the Roswell crash wouldn't happen until 1947. Yet the descriptions from that night sound eerily similar to later UFO reports. Bright, glowing lights. Large, disc-like shapes. Silent movement. Seeming invulnerability to gunfire. In the years since, UFO researchers have connected the Battle of Los Angeles to possible alien activity. Some speculate that whatever was in the sky that night wasn't from Japan, or even from Earth. Section 6. Photos and Evidence. One of the most famous pieces of evidence is a photo published in the Los Angeles Times the next day. It shows searchlights converging on a bright object in the sky, surrounded by explosions. Skeptics claim the photo was heavily retouched by newspaper artists to make it more dramatic. But believers say, even if altered, it still shows a solid object reflecting the searchlights. There are also military records showing radar contact before the gunfire began, something a drifting weather balloon wouldn't typically trigger. Section 7. Other strange sightings. Here's where it gets wild. The 1940s saw a rash of strange aerial phenomena. Foo Fighters, mysterious glowing orbs reported by Allied pilots over Europe and the Pacific during World War II. Ghost rockets, mysterious projectiles seen in Sweden in 1946, believed by some to be extraterrestrial in origin. Could the Battle of Los Angeles have been part of the same wave of unexplained sightings? Or maybe, was it a test flight of experimental technology, either ours or someone else's? Section 8. What if it was aliens? Let's just play with the idea for a second. If it was extraterrestrial, why appear during wartime, when the risk of being attacked was so high? Were they observing human conflict? Testing our military response? And if they could survive a full hour of artillery fire, what does that say about their technology? Some UFO researchers suggest that the event was a show of force, a demonstration that we're here, and your weapons can't harm us. Section 9. Alternative theories. To be fair, there are plenty of other possible explanations. Japanese reconnaissance plane, possible, but no wreckage or evidence was ever found. American secret aircraft, maybe a test gone wrong, but why over a populated city? Weather balloons, the official stance, but again, why so many reports of massive solid shapes? Section 10. Legacy and pop culture. The Battle of Los Angeles has lived on in pop culture. It's inspired films like Battle, Los Angeles, 2011, and even parts of 1941 by Steven Spielberg. UFO documentaries constantly revisit it as one of the most compelling, early, UFO encounters. Some modern sightings are even compared to it, especially those involving multiple witnesses and military involvement. Ending. Final questions to the audience. So, what really happened that night in 1942? Was it just wartime paranoia and jumpy trigger fingers? A foreign aircraft that slipped away undetected? Or a visitor from somewhere much farther away? If this happened today, with everyone's phone cameras pointed skyward, would we have the answer? Or would it still be covered up, hidden in classified military files? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you were there that night, looking up at the searchlights, what would you believe you were seeing?